Hi, everyone. We're going to continue with Ghost. We were partway through chapter 2, and our main character has been watching what looks to be like an elite track team practice. He's getting a little irritated about this kid named Lou, who everybody seems to be like really excited about because he's super fast. And he's finished his sunflower seed, so it looks like he's lined up next to him at the track practice, and that's where we're going to pick up. I just needed to roll up my jeans and tuck my laces in my high tops, and I was good to go. Coach Turtleface noticed me and called out, "Kid, what are you doing? Tryouts for last week." I didn't say nothing, and the coach followed up with, "This is a private practice." I still didn't respond, and I just started scrunching the sleeves of my t-shirt up to my shoulders. "Did you hear me?" the coach now asked, a little louder this time. He started walking toward me. The other kids were looking at me like most kids did, like I was something else, like I wasn't one of them, but whatever. "Do you not understand what private means?" the coach jeered. I thought of a funny comeback, but I kept it to myself. "Yeah, man, the track is for runners, not people who want to pretend they're runners," Lou jabbed, now standing straight. He looked me up and down, then flashed an arrogant grin. "Just blow the whistle," I finally called back to the coach. He stopped in his tracks and glared. Then he looked at Lou before continuing in my direction. He pointed his clipboard at me. "Listen, you get one run, hear me? After this, I don't want to see you around here no more," he threatened. "This is serious business, you understand?" I gave him the whatever face and nodded. He pointed his stupid clipboard at me again, like I was scared of that. Please. Then, as the coach headed back to the finish line, Lou shook his head at me and growled, "Hope you're ready to get smoked." This time I said it, whatever, and gave him my best ice grill to make sure he knew he didn't scare me. And he didn't. We were just running, not fighting, so why should I be frightened by some milk-faced running boy? Now, back at the other end of the track, the coach yelled out, "On your mark." Lou dropped down on all fours again. I just put my right foot forward. "Get set." Lou put his butt in the air. I leaned in. Then, deep. I wish I could tell you what I was thinking, but I can't. I probably wasn't thinking nothing, just moving. Man, were my legs going. I pumped and pushed, my ankles loose and wobbly in my sneakers, my jeans stiff and hot, the whole time seeing Lou out of the corner of my eye like a white blur. And then it was over, and everyone watching, all the other runners, clapped and hooted, pointing at both. Some had their mouths open. Others just looked confused. The lady on the other side of the track, not a peep. But all the people around her were standing and cheering. Lou walked in circles with his hands on his head, trying to catch his breath, panting, wheezing out, "Who won? Who won, coach?" "I don't know, son. It was pretty close." The coach said it like the words were sour in his mouth. I walked back over to my bench, grabbed my backpack, and to keep my part of the deal, headed out. I'd made my point, and it wasn't like I wanted to be part of their little club. I just needed everyone to know that the fancy white black boy wasn't all that. "Kid," I could hear the coach's footsteps coming behind me. I was still trying to get my heart to stop tripping and my lungs to start working again. "Kid, wait, wait," he said, running up beside me. He was wearing those sweatpants, the swishy kind that make every step sound like paper crumpling. "Who you run for?" he asked. What? Who did I run for? What kind of question was that? "I run for me. Who else?" I replied. I stopped walking. "No, I mean what team?" "No team." "I see." He glanced over at the track. "So then who trained you? Somebody had to train you to be that fast." "Nobody. I just know how to run." "You just know how to run?" he repeated under his breath, followed up by, "Yes, yes, you do." Also breath talk. "Look, I don't know you. What's your name?" "Castle Crenshaw," I said, then quickly clarified, "but everybody calls me Ghost." By everybody, I mean nobody except me. That was my self-given nickname. Well, halfway self-given. The night me and Ma busted into Mr. Charles's store, Mr. Charles looked at us like he was looking at two ghosts, like he didn't recognize us, probably because of how scared we both must have looked. So I just started calling myself that. Plus, it wasn't the only time someone had looked at me that way. As a matter of fact, this man, the coach, was looking at me the exact way as Mr. Charles did that night, stunned, and I couldn't tell if it was because my real name was Castle or because of my nickname. "Okay, Ghost, I'm Coach Brody." We did a proper handshake. "Listen, like I said, I don't know you, obviously, but I know you got something special. At least I think you do. So you want to join the Defenders and run with us?" I didn't even think about it. Nope. Just like that. Nope. Judging by the look on Coach's face, I could tell nobody said no to running on his team ever. What do you mean, nope? Why not? All the other runners on the track were cracking jokes and playing around. Everybody but Lou. He was back on the line again on his knees like he was getting ready to take off again. Because my sport is basketball. You play ball? He asked. Like he didn't believe it. Like I didn't look like I could hoop. Yeah. For who? Why do you keep asking me who I do things for? I snapped, mainly because I didn't play ball for nobody. Not yet, at least. But it was still in my plans. Plus, who was he to be all up in my business anyway? I didn't even know him, and he didn't know me. Look, even if I wanted to join your team, I continued, I would have to ask my mother first, and she's probably going to say no. So let me ask her. He cut in. Why you care? It's just running, I said. Is that what you think? Coach narrowed his eyes. That this is just running? Yeah, I mean, what else is there? Ready, set, go, run, the end, I said, like a robot. Coach let out a hearty laugh, the kind that sounds fake. Nobody really laughs that hard and that loud without bending over like it hurts. We'll get to that, Coach said, cutting his laugh off instantly. Like I said, fake. For now, let's focus on the task at hand. If your mom says it's cool, will you join? Man, I told you I play ball. Coach sized me up, biting down on his bottom lip. Okay, I'll tell you what, basketball's your sport? Cool. But if you want to be a better ball player, join this team and you'll be faster and stronger than anyone on the court. Matter of fact, your legs will be so strong you'll be dunking on people by next year. You think I'm stupid? I looked at him sideways. Ain't no way I could be dunking in a year. I never heard of no eighth graders that could dunk. Depends on what you say next. You are if you don't let me ask your mom about joining. Coach was looking at me like he was dead serious. Like he really thought running could help my hops and get me dunking by next year, which, if that did happen, I would go right down to the court with Sicko and them and demand to play. I kept checking his face for a sign he was lying, a sign that would be easy to see because he doesn't have any hair to disguise it. But there was no sign, no lie. Man, I'm telling you, she ain't going to say yes. Good enough, Coach nodded, a sure smirk on his face. Practice is almost over. Might as well stay. Then I'll drop you off at home and I'll talk to you then. Cool? Not cool. I mean, not really. I mean, track? And who is this man? I've seen those weird shows where psychos pose like coaches and stuff and get you caught up, and the next thing you know, your mother's in jail too for handling this dude. I didn't trust him. But on the other hand, I didn't really have anything else to do or nowhere else to be, so I figured it was worth scoping him out and seeing how he acted around all the other kids and their parents. I mean, I could always use the ride home, but I ain't no fool. After practice was done, everybody met up with the people waiting for them, family and friends or whatever. Coach spent a lot of time talking to all the moms and dads, mostly moms, especially of the vets. They all acted like they were really knew each other, like family, hugs and all that. And that made me feel a little better about him because moms don't trust nobody around their kids. So I agreed on the ride. Coach and I walked to his car, which I was surprised to see a cab. You stole a cab? I asked, while he cleaned a bunch of stuff off the seat. Food bags, shoes, water bottles, sport drinks. The front of his car was a mess. He threw everything in the back. No, Coach said, brushing crumbs on the floor so I could finally get in. What makes you think that? Because you're a coach, I said, holding my backpack in my lap. So how'd you get one? I coach because I love it. But it don't pay the rent. Being a cab driver does. He started the car. Then why would you love coaching? Seems as if you like being a cabbie. It seems like if being a cabbie gets you paid, that should be what you love. I explained what seemed obvious, looking out the window. Coach backed out of the parking space. Wait, I said. You're not going to make me pay for this ride home, are you? Because if you are, you can just let me out and I can walk. Why would I make you? Coach started, then stopped, then sighed. Just tell me where you live. Where I live. Where I live. When anyone asks where I live, I get weird because people always treat you funny when they find out you stay in a certain kind of neighborhood. But I was used to people treating me funny. When your clothes are 2 sizes too big, and you got on no-name sneakers, and your mother cuts your hair, and it looks like your mother cuts your hair, you get used to people treating you funny, so what's one more person? Glass Manor, I said. You know where that is? Coach didn't blink. Yeah, I know where that is. We didn't stay too much in the car, just zipped from one side of the neighborhood to the other, from the good side to the other side. It was my first time ever in a cab. I was used to walking everywhere, unless I was going somewhere with my mom. Then it was on the bus. Coach talked on the phone most of the time. Judging by what he said, what time he'd be home, checking to see if somebody named Tyrone had eaten yet, asking what was for dinner. Made me think he was talking to his wife. I wonder what she looked like. Probably not too hot since she married a man who looked like a chip-toothed turtle. Coach was saying something about gym shoes to the maybe wife on the phone when I noticed a woman walking in white scrubs, white sneakers, carrying a black leather purse big enough to fit the whole world in it, and her hair was cut like a boy's. I tapped Coach on the arm and told him to pull the cab over. Hold on, he said to the person on the phone, then to me, what? Pull over, I repeated. That's my mother. And we're going to stop there.